Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story, highlighting the positive role of the Jamaican diaspora. Sides of the story. Time now for both sides of the story of Power 106 FM. We will not take sides, but we listen to your side. Join us as we explore the issues, present the facts, speak with the experts, and as always, listen to both sides. What's your story? Tell us on both sides of the story. 922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114, and 922-4115. You can listen to both sides of the story on the Cleaner's website, www.go-jamaica.com, on your mobile phones at tunein.com or novex.com, or by dialing 832-5.
I sent something. Tell me if you have it.
Sides of the story.
And you don't want to try YouTube? Or you're not supposed to? And so I leave this island that I have loved, this people that I have loved. But I shall remember always the beauty of my people and the beauty of my land. And in strange lands where the fog presses down and even the street lamps are faint and misty, I shall remember the beauty of our nights with stars so near that one could almost stretch and touch them. Stars winking and flashing magnificently in a sky of velvet blue. I shall remember walking down long avenues of trees, the black asphalt flecked with pale moonlight pouring through the acacia leaves, and the soft laughter of girls leaning back cool and inviting against the trunks of flaming poinciana trees. And in the long days, when the rain falls sullenly and no sun shines, and all the earth lies in a weary stupor, I shall remember the splendor of our sun, the brightness of our days. Today is the 24th, yesterday was the 23rd, Saturday 22nd, Friday 21st, Sunday 21, Monday 21. 21, 21, 24, 24. I'm going to go over this side. Back into this. We started out this afternoon with the poem I Shall Remember, and that's H.D. Carberry, I Shall Remember, and paired that with Sweet Jamaica by Eric Donaldson. 2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It's the 24th day of the 7th month of 2023, the International Year of Sustainable Development. And put another way, it's the 24th day of the second month of the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season. And according to the National Meteorological Service, there's a trough across Jamaica, and trough there suggests some level of unstable weather. As you know by now, if you're a regular listener to this program, both sides of the story. When you hear about a trough, think about what some people refer to as bad weather in terms of clouding and rain or thunderstorms. In fact, a trough is always associated with some weather activity, either directly or indirectly. The trough will linger for most of this week. Additionally, a low-level jet stream remains across the central Caribbean and will remain for the next few days. This afternoon, becoming partly cloudy with showers and possible thunderstorms across western and sections of south central parishes. Tonight, partly cloudy with possible showers across sections of eastern parishes. Elsewhere will be fair. In terms of our observances on this day, let's remind ourselves of those in the United States in particular. They observe these days that we're going to be sharing in terms, and the month in particular, the month of July. So the month of July is still known as Cord Blood Awareness Month, Healthy Vision Month, International Group B Strep Throat Awareness Month, Juvenile Arthritis Awareness Month, National Cleft and Craniofacial Awareness and Prevention Month, Sarcoma Awareness Month, and UV Safety Awareness Month. And in terms of the other observances, let's tell you that it's Simon Bolivar Day in Venezuela and Ecuador, Children's Day in Vanuatu, Fiesta de Santiago in Peru, Jose Barbosa Day in Puerto Rico, and Pioneer Day in Utah in the United States of America. Hoy es lunes, el 24 de julio 2023. Y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Un momento, por favor.
The time is now 2:15.
106 FM, the digital sound, now reaching you in more ways. Listen to us on 106.1 to 106.9 on the FM band. You can also listen to us on the Power 106 FM app, which you can download on the Google Play Store or the App Store. Plus, listen to us on OneSpotMedia.com and the One Spot Media app, or log on to go-jamaica.com. Power 106 FM, where all views can contend, giving you powerful talk radio in so many ways, on air and online. Ooh, all right. I see what the world obsessed with solar and summer super sale. Come get your wireless breakers, LED ground lights, solar lamps, LED bulbs, standing fans, and so much more. Don't miss the wonderful ad from today. Come get your smart locks, smart bulbs, video doorbells, and video cameras. Not to miss it. Enjoy the some that phosphate super sale. July 3 to August 31. See you there at Phosphate. Open Sundays.
Hoy es lunes el 24 de julio 2023 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est lundi le 24 juillet 2023 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Monday, the 24th of July, 2023, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We never, ever forget to remember to say thanks to you, our faithful listeners, at home and abroad, for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which we have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We acknowledge those who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. Those in the US who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631 359 8281. 631 359 8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330 606 0953. 0330 606 0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just hear, but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. If you don't have a Facebook account, no sweat. There's always YouTube. You don't need to have an account to access YouTube. All you need is a smartphone, a tablet, computer, laptop, desktop, any one of those. Then you need internet connection and, more importantly, connectivity. One sure way of checking for internet connectivity is by opening a browser like Google Chrome, for example. And if you're able to browse, you're good to go. If not, then you have a little matter on your hands to clear up. How about that? Let's welcome those who have joined us. Hello to Ricardo, as usual, in Glengoff, St. Catherine. Thank you very much for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Hello and good afternoon to Audrey Smith as well. Audrey Smith says, afternoon, Dervan and listeners everywhere. Happy New Week to all tuning in from Southampton. Thank you very much, Audrey Smith, for tuning in. And we hope that we might buck you up in Southampton over the next few days. Well, that depends on you. We'll see. Let's see what is possible in that regard. Norman Hines is in St. Thomas. And yes, we are pretty much on our way to the United Kingdom. And that's where the celebration will begin in terms of celebrating the members of the diaspora who continue to do outstanding work. People like Angelia Christian, and there are others who are going to be recognized as well this Saturday. And there are quite a few other broadcasts lined up as well coming up. So get ready for those. We'll fill you in as further information becomes available. Because apart from the United Kingdom, there is Canada, there is also New Jersey and Washington, D.C., and I would imagine over time other opportunities to engage members of the diaspora on the ground in their adopted country will follow. So stand by. All things being well, it's the beginning of so much more to come. In the meantime, Velta Wilson, good afternoon to you. I think you're having an anniversary. I think so. I think I saw something on Facebook. Happy anniversary to you if that is the case, and I suspect it is. Maureen Grant Gauntlet says, happy Monday afternoon, Sir Malcolm, and all the listeners across the world. Happy Monday to you too, Maureen Grant Gauntlet. She says, we continue to listen and enjoy each evening. God bless. Thank you very much, Maureen Grant Gauntlet, for your kind sentiments. Kish Lindsay says, good evening, Dervan. Greetings from London. Good afternoon, Kish Lindsay. What's the weather like in London right now? We're heading in that direction. We need your help in that regard, Kish Lindsay. Should I be packing something warm? I'm just saying, I doubt it. It's already burning up. Don't think we want any more warmth across the United Kingdom and the rest of the world, not least of all Jamaica. So stand by, a lot more to come. In the meantime, we're just a few minutes away from this week's edition of Land Solutions. Till then, we are open to your feedback as usual. 876-922-4112 to 5, 876-922-4112 to 5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. And apologies, there are so many individuals who are hoping that we'll be able to spend some part of the emancipation period with them. But it's a, what they call it, first come, first served basis. And we still try our best to facilitate as many requests as possible. But in the meantime, we're leading up to that celebratory period in our country, that period that we have coined as emancipendence, and that with that will come a lot of activity, a lot of interviews, a lot of broadcasts, and so on. It's going to be quite busy. So you want to be ready for that. This one says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I have been listening to talk shows since I've been a young man, and I must tell you, you are a very patient host. Your voice tone continues to remain consistent. I'm not sure how you do it, but I love your patience. Thanks much for your service. And you are very kind. Thank you very much. Appreciate your listenership and support. Long may it continue. Let's take a look at what's up on WhatsApp as well, so we can fill you in that regard. Calvin in North York, Ontario, Canada. Hope we get an opportunity to catch up with you in where are we now? In over a month or so. Looking forward to that. And let's see who else is messaging us. Philip Lawrence has sent us a photo. A general greeting. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bishop Douglas Gooden, always keeping in touch with us. Thank you very much, Bishop, in Central Florida, most of the time, I think. And hello to Reverend Dr. Frank Lawrence. He says, greetings, teacher, from Sturgetown Free Village. On the 1st of August each year, we celebrate, unearth, display our rich history, heritage, and culture at our Emancipation Homecoming Backyard function. This year, we are blessed to celebrate the 100th birthday of Deacon Mr. Robert Tracy, Brother Bob. His picture will go on our wall of fame near the historical monument at the Sturgetown School. He will join 3 centenarians with the Tracy surname, which is one of the 100 family names that started the Free Village of Sturgetown in 1840. These centenarians are 3rd and 4th descendants of emancipated slaves. This, and it's a little longer than we anticipated, Reverend Dr. Frank Lawrence. So we're going to pause at this point and prepare for today's edition of Land Solutions. And Kish Lindsay in London is giving us an update on the weather, since that's where we're heading. Well, it's raining now in London. No heat wave as in other parts of the world. A light jacket is recommended. A light jacket is recommended. That's the word from Kish Lindsay in London. Thank you very much. Let's break now for this week's edition of Land Solutions and come back with more in just a moment.
digital sound, now reaching you in more ways. Listen to us on 106.1 to 106.9 on the FM band. You can also listen to us on the Power 106 FM app, which you can download on the Google Play Store or the App Store. Plus, listen to us on onespotmedia.com and the One Spot Media app, or log on to go-jamaica.com. Power 106 FM, we're
and other concerns. You're welcome to visit their website at www.nwa.gov.jr. See the tender notices link for projects to be undertaken. You may also call them toll free at 1-888-429-5NWA. That's 1-888-429-5692. Or follow them on Twitter at NWA_JA and Facebook.
Same person? Same person? Okay.
The National Works Agency, developing safe, reliable, and quality roads.
It's a Monday afternoon, just after 2:30, and that means time for Land Solutions. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. The numbers to call, 876-922-4113 to 5. 876-922-4113 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions, which means you can send your text messages and your WhatsApp messages to 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. The website is landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. That's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. All are encouraged to call ahead instead of just turning up at the law offices of Brown, Findley and Company. Those numbers to call, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Bear in mind as well that there is an expanded session, usually, or extended session on the subject of land-related matters at the Ocho Rios law offices of Brown, Findley and Company, and that takes place every Thursday from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. In a moment, let's say hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the host of Land Solutions here on During Both Sides of the Story on Power 106 FM, Gloria Brown.
Thanks again, Dervan, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to Land Solutions. The numbers to call 922-411-325, and the text line is 387-3183. I'm Gloria Brown, and I would like to talk to you today about any matter related to your land ownership. Buying land, selling land, getting a title for your land, updating your title, probating the will so we can transfer the assets, administering the estate, writing the will, anything land related, please give me a call, 922-411-325. Or you can also send me a text message or WhatsApp message if you have any questions. The text line or the WhatsApp line, 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. We can only send a message on that number, please. If you want to speak to me, please call 922-411-325. And on the weekend or last week, I heard Minister Dervan speaking at a roadshow that was put on by the Administrator General's Department. And I took a little time to download a section of the speech. I was not able to download all of it. But I had to read a little of what he said, of what the article says. Jamaicans have been urged to make a will to prevent family members from fighting over deadlifts and to ease the burden of the Administrator General's Department, the AGD. Minister of Justice, Honorable Dervan, in making the appeal, said that the AGD, which is the entity responsible for handling the estates of persons who die without making a will, is managing over 50 billion, not million, 50 billion in property and continues to see increases of between 300 and 500 cases every year. Even though they are completing just under 500 cases per year, they are still getting a similar amount with the understanding that they have nearly 5,000 files working on at any time, he said. Minister Chuck was addressing the AGD Securing Your Legacy Roadshow at Samshab Square, Montego Bay, St. James on Friday, July 21. A will is a document containing instructions and wishes as to how persons want their estate, property, and assets to be distributed after death. Minister Chuck noted that the making of a will is not an omen. So what he's really saying is that making a will is not going to make you die, as some people believe, but rather it's a practical measure to provide for loved ones in the event of an unexpected situation, ensuring a smooth transfer of assets and minimizing conflicts among family members. He said that the issue of deadlifts, where individuals pass away without leaving a clear legal document detailing the distribution of their assets, often leads to disputes and violence. He noted the urgent need for individuals to take proactive measures to avoid such scenarios. I want to emphasize to those who are listening, said Mr. Chuck, when a person dies without making a will, the people fight over your deadlift. Nothing creates more violence, grievance, conflict, and death than deadlift across Jamaica, with people fighting over what they never expect, what they believe they should get, and what they think that the dead person should have left for them, Minister Chuck pointed out. The minister explained that a will provides a straightforward solution to ensure one's wishes are respected and assets are allocated according to their desires. By explicitly stating their intention, he pointed out, persons can spare their loved ones from legal battles and uncertainty. The challenge you have, especially with persons who have children, when you don't make a will, the children suffer for many years until the Administrator General can put together whatever is available so that it can be distributed to the children, he pointed out. He said that people should be encouraged to make wills to avoid unnecessary burdens on the state and its department. He cited the example of JDF, Jamaica Defense Force members, because the JDF requires all soldiers to make a will, thereby minimizing complications for their families in case of any unfortunate event. It is not to force them like the JDF because people have options, but just tell them to make a simple will. A will can be a one-page document until you acquire a whole lot of property, then it can be several pages, Minister Chuck said. And that's what I was able to download. But when I listened to Mr. Chuck speaking, because I heard it on the news, what he further said was that the policemen are burdening the system. Because the reality is that what he said was that many of our policemen, they have children all over the place. So when they pass on, because these children are minors, then then their estates will have to go to the Administrator General's department, and you have the different mothers of their children coming together now to the Administrator General, and sometimes it creates a conflict, and sometimes identifying the beneficiaries can be a problem. Another set of persons that Mr. Chuck spoke about, the other group, is a group that contains teachers. Teachers, he pointed out, are not making wills. And I can say that as a fact, teachers and policemen, as he said, these persons are not making wills and creating a lot of conflict, a lot of problems, okay, a lot of fight over dead left, because what we have left, there's no certainty as to who is to get what, and it creates a problem. So that's what Mr. Chuck was really saying, is what we have been saying, Kalisa and I have been saying every week. Begging persons to make your will. Because we notice, and I notice I've never had to administer the estate of a soldier, because the soldiers have to make wills. And I think the Jamaica Defense Force probably shouldn't need, the Jamaica Constabulary Force should probably look at something like that to encourage the officers to make wills. As Mr. Chuck said, a lot of the problems, I want to emphasize, nothing creates more violence, grievance, conflict, and death than dead left across Jamaica, with persons fighting over what they never expected, what they believe they should get, and what they think the dead person should have left for them. Another part I would add to it is that, to it for Mr. Chuck, is persons fighting over what they did not buy. Because I find that that's a part of the challenge, and he's in fact correct. Deadlift is a serious problem. So I'm preaching what we have preached every week, and backing it up with what Mr. Chuck said in that talk in Sam Sharp Square. My brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, my listeners, I'm begging you, I'm imploring you, I'm beseeching you, make your wills. And I see more and more persons trickling into my office to say, I've listened to what you have said and I think I should make a will. And they have come in and made them, and they are alive and well. As I said, most of us intend to make it, it's just that not today. Some more convenient day. We intend to make it like salvation, we intend to be saved, just not today, and we keep putting it off. And then we know what happens. And there's a deacon used to say at my church, he still loves to say, where the fig tree falls, there shall it lie, until judgment takes its course. So when you are dead, it cannot be made. And remember, as he said, it can be a simple one-page document. You can buy a will form, write what you want to write, and get two persons to be there with you when you're signing it. But let us start that. Let us start the conversation. Let us get into a culture of making wills, because it becomes more complex when none is made. Sometimes you persons come to come because the relative died without a will. And then I would need to find all the brothers and sisters and the spouse. Sometimes they say, but Daddy, I don't know where to find Daddy's wife because she went to live in America or England. I don't know where to find her. And it creates a problem in administering the estate. Or I hear that Daddy has a child somewhere, but I don't know where to find her. We have to serve notice on all the beneficiaries. When they're spouse and children, you have to find them. So it becomes a problem. Or a child has died. That child has children. I need to find the children to serve a notice on them. When you write a will, you don't have to go through a lot of that, because the beneficiaries are ascertained, they are certain, they are named in the will. So it becomes less complex. So I'm encouraging persons by that will form, even if you make the will, I will even look at it for you. WhatsApp us a copy and we'll say to you, we don't think it should be like that, we think you should tidy up that little part. And remember also, when you make the will, always put a residuary clause in it. That's an end clause at the end of the will. I give all I have not given back already. I have not given away already in the will. We put that a little bit more complex. I give all my real and personal property, not otherwise disposed of by this my will. We don't have to all take all that wording. I give all I have not yet given away. I give everything I have not yet given away in my will too. Always put that clause. So if there's something else that you have acquired, that you have got, that you're not aware of, or you have something that you forgot to put in, or there's something that you didn't know about, that clause will catch it. So remember, you can give us a call 922411325 after the break. This is Land Solution.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876 922 4113 to 5. 876 922 4113 to 5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number. So you can send your text messages and WhatsApp messages to 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja, facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. All are encouraged to call ahead before turning up at the law offices of Brown, Findlay and Company. The numbers to call: 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. We have a caller for you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Brown. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm good, thank you.
Yes, I have three questions to ask you. They are in relation to adverse possession.
Yes.
All right. My first question: if my father was had acquired a property for adverse possession, let's say that he did 10 out of the 12 years, and he would have passed away. Me living with him, does the time continue, or do I, as a separate individual, it starts over?
So is that if you are the next in line to your father, you administer your father's estate and you tag on. So you can add the years. So for example, when the government says you have to have 60 years for adverse, your grandmother could have 20, your mother 30, and you can have 10. So you can add the years. But you'd have to administer your father's estate in order to be able to attach his 10 years to your 2.
All right. My second question is, if there's a lien on the property, let's say that somebody has owned the property and the person has decided to sell the property to another individual, the new person who is purchasing the property, even though the person would have lived on it, say let's say for more than 12 years, right? And the person would have gotten a mortgage to purchase the property. Can those persons who are living on the claim adverse possession even though there's a lien on the property?
No, and that's something that we have been agonizing over. Because sometimes you see some properties with some very old mortgages, and the mortgage on the title is going to prevent you from successfully making the adverse possession application.
So once there's a mortgage, then person cannot claim adverse possession then?
You can claim, but you're not going to be able to get that title cancelled.
Or they can claim, but they won't be able to get the title?
Yeah, I mean, yes, you're not going to be able to get that title.
Okay. All right. My other question is, with adverse possession, is there a process? I have read that it has to be aggressive, it has to be visible, it has to be continuous. Is that case where all the steps are getting all the criteria for adverse possession to be effective, or is it just a 12 years period?
I'm not sure what you mean by aggressive. I've never heard that term used for adverse possession.
Hostile.
No. Let me tell you the terms used: sold, open, quiet, undisputed, undisturbed, and continuous.
Yeah.
Those are the terms. That's what you need to prove. Sold, which means nobody else. So you can't come and say other people living there who are not related to me, but I want the adverse because I'm paying the taxes. You must be the only person owning it. I mean, you could be there with your family. Open, you must be hiding.
So all the steps have to be met.
You have to satisfy those, which just really means that you are there and nobody has taken you to court in the time you are there, and you are not hiding. you're not hiding to show that you are there.
Okay. All right, Ms. Brown. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Interesting call. The number to call 922-411-325. And the text line 876-387-3183. You can send me a text or WhatsApp message to 876-387-3183. So that gentleman, that caller a while ago wanted a schooling in adverse possession. And what I was pointing out to the caller is that if there's a mortgage on the property, it's going to prevent, it's going to block you making the adverse possession application. It's going to prevent the application from being successful. And you can tag on. So when you hear a person say, in order for you to claim adverse possession against government land, you have to prove 60 years ownership. But you can tag on. You can attach your POS to the other person. So suppose, for example, I'm squatting on government land. I've been there for 40 years and I decide to sell it to you and you are foolish enough to buy it. You can attach my 40 years to your 20 years and apply for the title when you're there for 20 years. But I want to say to persons in situations like that, because no matter how we preach, people still go and say, sell me a piece. When you're buying property from someone, let them give you the documentation that they have to support their ownership. So I can't just sell you a piece of land, give you a receipt, and then you apply for your title. I need to show you the authority that I had to sell the land. So if I had bought it from somebody before, or I've been there for 40 years, let me give you something to show. Maybe I can show you I've been paying the taxes for 40 years and give you the old tax papers. Maybe I can show you that I have had electricity for 40 years on the property. My children were born there. Do you have a call, Dervan?
Yes, Ms. Brown. Caller holding.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon.
Hello, Ms. Brown. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I was the same person calling last week in terms of that my mom died and leave.
I don't remember. Please tell me again.
I was trying to get to you at the office, but I did so without any success.
Okay. Just look for my number. Just look for the number that's my WhatsApp number and send me a message, please.
Could you repeat this?
Yeah, just listen for my number. I say my WhatsApp number throughout the program and just send me a message after the program.
Okay then.
Just keep listening. Thank you so much. All right. The number to call 922-411-325. And the text line is 387-3183. So send me a message 876-387-3183. Good day, Ms. Brown. I have a signed transfer for a property and I'm awaiting the hearing of a court matter for a claim of adverse possession. Do I need to still get a will done? Yes. And that's what thank you for the question. Because I want to encourage persons. As long as you say the property is yours, make your will. Don't wait for the matter to be sorted out and say, I'm going to sort out and then I'm going to make your will. Because we don't know what will happen. Make the will, because suppose, for example, I will a property. I will my property at 10 Black Lane to my daughter. But I sell the 10 Black Lane before I die. I'm not sure if I have another call, Dervan.
Not just yet, Ms. Brown.
I sell the hello.
Go ahead, Ms. Brown.
Sorry, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
It sounds like there's an open line. Sorry about that. Not sure where that's coming from.
Okay, thank you, Dervan. So I have a property at 10 Black Lane and I sell the property. I make a will and I will the property to my daughter, but I sell the property before I die. My will is still good. The will is still valid. If I don't have that property, then they will probate the will for everything else and leave that out. So even if you have sold some of the things, then you don't have all the things in your will. when you pass, the will is still valid and they will probate it. Suppose you will 10 properties and you sold 9 of them before you died. They'll just probate the will for the one and pay their duties just on the one. So it doesn't matter that I have not sorted out my situation yet. Still, one made the will. Even though you're going to be claiming your adverse possession, you haven't got the title yet, you have been living there for a certain period of time, will the property so that your beneficiaries can continue the process. So, remind you don't have to tidy things up before. You don't have to tidy things up before you make your will. Just go and will everything. I will the piece of family land that my grandfather left from my father. You might not get it, but will it. The number to call 922-411-325. The text line is 387-3183. So send me a text message or send me a WhatsApp message. 876-387-3183. And regardless of how much we talk about the property tax situation, I'm the only one paying the land tax out of our 6 children. Can I own the land at a later date? I have the common law title. I think we still have an open line. But even though you have the common law title in your hand and mama gave you the title when she was dying or daddy, that will not make you the owner of the property. Holding on to the title will not make you the owner of the property. And even worse, paying the taxes will not make you the owner of the property. Okay? If you and your brothers and sisters are there, or you are there with some other tenants and you have stopped paying rent or lease, but you are paying the taxes for everybody, all it means that they need to give you a refund on some of the taxes. But because you are paying the taxes, cannot make you own the property over all the other persons occupying it. It does not work like that. Please remember the text line is 876-387-3183. That's the text line. And the email address, gloria@landsolutionsja.com, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. And remember that we have an office in Ocho Rios, in the Jamaica National Building, and in Winchester Business Center in Halfway Tree. Can a person of unsound mind make a will? No. You have to show, because the person could make a will, but the will could be contested. Because persons could say, well, when daddy made the will, he had a problem, he was suffering from dementia and never had the capacity. So a person to make a will has to have capacity, which means the person must be over 18 and must have the mental capacity, the mental ability to understand what he or she is doing, which is why I encourage my listeners. If you have relatives who are not well, who have dementia, especially those abroad, and you're leaving them here with caretakers and caregivers, make sure that you carry them to the doctor and get the doctor to do some certification to say the person does not have capacity. So when you come back and hear that daddy made a will after you let willing it to whoever, you can show that you have evidence that daddy lacks the capacity. Or you have told that daddy got married to somebody who is now claiming a portion of the property. You have evidence to show that daddy or mommy lacks capacity. I encourage persons to take care of those situations because sometimes we have a lot of conflict. And as I spoke, for those who came in later, I spoke about the Minister of Justice, Mr. Delroy, the Honorable Delroy Chuck, speaking at a seminar hosted by the Administrator General Department, where he was talking about Jamaicans not making wills and the conflicts that we leave behind. I said on this program more than once that the problem we have with a lot of the deadlift situation is that reality and expectations don't coincide. I expect that when Mama died, the property is going to be mine. The reality is that Mama died without a will, so it belongs to all of her children. But Mama had said it was going to be mine. I'm the one who sent the money from abroad to build the house. I'm the one who buried her. I'm the one paying the taxes. Mama net did not make a will, so the property is going to belong to half of it to her husband, who is not my father, and half to all her children. But I'm the one who built the house. Mama said it was mine, but Mama did not make a will. Word of mouth cannot pass the property. Write it down and get it signed by a will form. Download a will form. I beg of you. This is Gloria Brown. This is Land Solution.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high-quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is 3 o'clock.
It's the Home with Things anniversary sale. We're kicking off celebrations with big discounts on all your favorite items. Enjoy store-wide savings with huge discounts on tiles, bathroom fixtures, faucets, vanities, shower enclosures, lighting, home decor, and more. We're celebrating quality and style as we say thank you, Jamaica, for 25 years of love and support. The Home with Things anniversary sale. Old Hope Road and Constant Spring Road. Let's celebrate because Jamaica builds with Home with Things.
Land Solutions with attorney at law Gloria Brown continues here during both sides of the story on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and we're still taking your calls and your messages with respect to land-related matters. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113 to 5. 876-922-4113 to 5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, but also your WhatsApp messages. That WhatsApp line for Land Solutions is 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. Once again, here's attorney at law Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. A text message. My husband died without a will. He had 2 sons, and one wants the property to put in a trust. I do not want that. They are, and she has told me their ages. I am the administrator. When your husband died without a will, half of the property will go to you, the spouse, and half will go to the 2 boys. So each child will get a quarter, and you will have a half. You are the administrator, you are in charge. So you can decide what you're going to do with you. You have the right to even sell the property. So if you don't want the property to, okay, the son wants a trust, he can't dictate to you what is to happen. You need to come together and decide. Maybe you will want to buy them out, etc. It's a conversation you have with them, but they can't tell you to do what you do not want to do, because as the administrator, you are the one with the power. The administrator, and you might say what this one means by an administrator. When a person dies and leaves a will, the person probates the will. The executor will probate the will and get a grant of probate. When a person dies without a will, you get a grant of administration. We call it letters of administration. So when you as a spouse, you have got the grant of letters of administration, so it is your duty now, it's your right to share of the estate. Just as how the executor has the right to sell, you have the right as the administrator to sell. But we prefer when person make the will, so you have an executor, more than when they don't make a will and you have an administrator. It's a much tidier thing when there's a will, because it determines who is to get what. So you need to have that conversation with them and then determine. But remember that suppose you say, oh, I can't afford to buy you out, and you just have to settle with your court, etc. Then that person could go to court and ask the court for any of the 3 of you could go to court if you can't come to an agreement. And the court can order the property sold for you to get your half, so you get their quarter each. None can buy out the other. But the court will not just sit down and let persons just sit by and say, oh, I'm not going to do anything with this estate. The court has the power and will use the power when necessary in order to ensure that the process continues, that we move right along. Ms. Brown, will the sign will cancel the sign transfer of the property when the sign transfer was done before the making of the will? No. Well, if the transfer is done before the will or after the will, it is not going to cancel. The transfer is going to take precedence. It's going to trump the will. The transfer will take priority over the will, whether it's done before or after the will. Because remember, a will only speaks on death. And that's what we need to remember, which is why we say you can make one every day. You make one this evening for this boy and if you have any manners, you make another one tomorrow and leave it for the other boys. You can, even though the will says this is the last will, I'm testing testament of me, John Brown. You can make one every morning and one every evening. You can keep writing them over. So they transfer it. So you transfer your property to me, and then you make a will and will it to your sister. Sister can't get it. I just already transferred it to me. The number to call 922-411-325. That's 876-922-411-325. And the text line is 387-3183. Ms. Brown, I hate to hear about adverse possession. To me, it is tantamount to stealing other people's property. Why is this allowed under law, and why don't they have a 60-year time period for individual land just like government land? People should work and buy their own land legally. Angie, so understand what you're saying, Angie. But the thing is, it's not going to change. People are saying the government must change it. But remember when we had, from the English, captured Jamaica in 1655, the laws of England became the laws of Jamaica. And we realized and told that the adverse possession law in America is even for a lesser period. It's just that Americans value their properties and they wouldn't leave a property like that. Well, most people would not leave a property like that for 12 years. If you have left your property for 12 years and somebody has taken it over, you really don't need it. 12 years is a long time, you know. A baby born 12 years ago is going to, has done the prep and is going into high school from September. 12 years is a long time, which is why we're saying to the person, take control of your property. Take control of your grandfather's property and the grandmother's property and all of those things that you have there. Take control of your property, or else you're going to lose it. And 12 years is a long time. So encourage person. Understand what you're saying. Sometimes it's very unfair. Sometimes it's very unfair. I appreciate what you're saying, which is why we preach every day to persons. If you don't want it, sell it. Use the money to buy something else, to buy where you're ready. Sell those in the diaspora. Don't just allow the family land to just go to waste. Save of you. Good afternoon, Ms. Brown. Thanks again for educating all of your listeners. Every time I hear about this adverse possession, the more I'm convinced that this provision is in need of serious adjustment and revision. It's another person in Toronto saying the same thing. I think Mr. Bonus, Mr. Golden opposite to make the necessary adjustment at the same time as the Bernard Lodge controversy. Things I don't know if any administration is going to be changing this anytime soon. Because another thing as well, is that it prevents land going to ruin. It prevents people from just abandoning properties and things going to waste. Which is why if we really would do the proper succession estate planning, so instead of us blaming the adverse possession, what we probably need to do is to look to tidy up our affairs and get a culture of dealing with our properties. Dealing with the grandparents' property. Don't just walk away and say, oh, I'm going to deal with it next year, and then 12 years back. Do something about it. Which is why we preach, Khadija and I have been preaching this message for so many years. Begging persons, do not let, because there's a song that we sing at church. I don't hear it very often these days. It says, rise up, O men of God, have done with lesser things. Because when you look at our forefathers, our grandparents and great-grandparents, times were so hard when, they had one pair of shoes. Now we don't know which one to put on. They had one, a set of clothes for church and one for maybe to go to the bush and one for to go to the shop. We have so much now. We're able to manage so much better than they were able to. But yet still they struggled. They struggled and bought property. And some of us are in America holding down 3 jobs, 2 jobs, can't even see our children, our spouses, we passing each other like sheep at night. And we have such valuable assets out here being taken over by squatters. And we don't have the time to look about them, and then we complain. Don't complain about the law. Which is why a lot of times when I give talks and I tell persons what happens when you don't make a will, it is shared. People complain to say it is unfair. Like if you don't make a will and you have a spouse and you have property and you have one child, you know that the spouse is to get 2/3 of all your money and your properties. The spouse must get 2/3 and the child must get 1/3. And a lot of times persons say that is so unfair. And I say to them, don't complain about what has been the law that has been made for you. Make a will so you can decide if you want the child to get everything. It's the same thing about the adverse possession. Since it is unlikely that from 1655 we're going to be changing the law. That's more than 300 years. Going nearly 400. years. It's unlikely it's going to change. What I'm saying to persons, look about what you have. Look about your assets. Older persons stop hiding things from the younger people. Persons will come into the office with the young people and they say, let them stay outside. I don't want them to hear. Let them know what is happening. So that when the neighbors constantly moving the peg, they say, no, grandfather told me that the peg is at that mango tree. I said, do things like that. Or I know that the stone wall is where the boundary is. Since it's unlikely that we're going to be changing this adverse possession law, a lot of times the adverse possession law, sometimes it is quite fair when you look at it, Because remember, sometimes it's not just strangers who are making the adverse claim, Sometimes the very relatives who have been there or the person who has been given a little piece of the land and build the house on it because grandfather gave them a little piece and they build the house on it, but there's a title in great grandfather's name. So the adverse is not just always strangers. Most of the adverse possession claims that I make are people who are bought from people, but they have to do an adverse possession application. So most of the time it's not just quarters. So for example, my mother bought a piece of land from Mr. Bennett before he died. Mama died, but Mama gave me a little piece to build a house on. So I'm doing an adverse possession application against Mr. Bennett's title because Mama had bought it and Mr. Bennett had not given it. So I would say 80% of the adverse possession applications that I see are not people who are squatters, but are people who have been unable to get titles for some reason or the other. They got it from the parents, they got it from the grandparents, they bought the little piece, but they haven't been able to get titles. So they will knock it fully. I understand where you're coming from sometimes when a person just see a piece of land, especially church land, and decide that they're going to go and live on it and take it over and so on. That can be a bit problematic, but don't throw the baby with the bathwater. It has its place. But we need to be a little tighter in how we're managing what we have. The numbers to call 922-411-325, 922-411-325, and the text line is 3873183. 3873183, the text line 876-387-3183. Okay, then the person is asking is the email address gloria@landsolutionsja. You have left out the JA. gloria@landsolutionsja.com or lowercase. Gloria at, and it's the ampersand, it's not the AND. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. My mother started the process to get her name added to my dad's title. We have documents, I think I read that from you last week. And you can just you could just send me an email. I'm going to also send you another email address, which I've just sent. And remember, please, if you have a situation you want to get a title for your property, just send me a text message. All you have to do is say title. Send it to 876-387-3183. And please follow up on me when I start to ensure that I send you the information because sometimes it gets lost in the email. 876-387-3183, and the person who called earlier, that's the number you're going to be sending me the message on. 876-387-3183. Yes, so I'm saying a lot of times, even a lot of the adverse possession applications would not be necessary if we would act quickly. So I bought a piece of land from Mr. Brown, and I'm so busy building the house that I don't get time to look about the title. And Mr. Brown has died. He never got a chance to transfer it to me. Okay? Or my mother bought it, Mr. Brown died, never got a chance. So Mama has passed, so I know I have to be doing an adverse possession application because Mr. Brown died. His children not helping me to sort it out. Mama has passed. Or Mama gave me that little piece and I built my house on it. And now I'd love to borrow some money from NHC to expand the house, but I don't have any documentation. I'm going to have to do an adverse possession application. So adverse is much more than a squatter seeing a piece of land or a house jumping into it and trying to get title. It's a little wider than that. But remember, if you need a title, please just send me a message. Okay, this person is saying, hello, Ms. Brown, I'm a secretary for Farmers Group. I'm the only one left on the committee. This land group was established under Blue Mountain Coffee Cooperative. We are 70 plus farmers. How can you avoid not losing over 30 years of establishment? I'll have to get a little bit more from you. That looks a little complex. So Prince, I'll get a little bit more from you after the program. Remember, you can send me a text message 876-387-3183. I'm Gloria Brown. This is Around the Solution.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
Tune in to Farm Talk every second and third Tuesday of each month at 6:18 a.m. for the feature Hyper Food Independence. Hyper Food Independence will focus on solutions for farmers, such as land, animal husbandry, agronomy, and more. That's Hyper Food Independence every second and third Tuesday from 6:18 to 6:30 a.m. during Farm Talk, only on Power 106 FM. Hyper Food Independence is sponsored by Hypro.
It's the final segment of Land Solutions for today. Here's your opportunity to get in those questions, concerns, issues, queries, doubts, whatever your situation. Once it has to do with the sale or purchase of land, this is the time, this is the place. It's Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. And we've been taking your calls on 876-922-4113-5. 876-922-4113-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions, which means you can send us your text messages and your WhatsApp messages. And that number is 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. The website is landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja, facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. All are encouraged to call ahead instead of just turning up at the law offices of Brown, Findley and Company. The numbers to call 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Let's remind you as well that on a Thursday between 10 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, there are enhanced activities, especially for those in the business of buying or selling land and have issues, other related issues, land surveys, etc. That's a special outreach effort of the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, and that's at the Ocho Rios law offices of Brown, Findley and Company every Thursday between 10 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. Once again, here's attorney at law Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. So for those who came in late, I started the program by reading an article from GIS, quoting Mr. Delroy Chuck speaking at a seminar for the Administrator General, put on by the Administrator General's Department, and begging persons to make wills, saying that the Administrator General's Department is getting between 300 and 500 new files every year, which means that they can't clear their backlog really because they are dealing with, they're clearing about 500 per year, but they're getting another 500 each year. The backlog cannot be cleared. And remember, when a person dies without a will and you have minor beneficiaries, any beneficiary under the age of 18, the Administrator General's Department is the only department that can deal with that estate. So if a person comes to me and say, my mother died, but I have brothers and sisters who are 15, 16, and my mother did not make a will, I would not even take a consultation fee from them because I would tell them that there's nothing I can do to assist you. You need to go straight to the Administrator General's Department because that is the department that is mandated to assist and to deal with estates for persons who have died who are minors. So if you want to avoid that department dealing with your estate, you need to make a will. Because if a person dies, leaves young children, and the person has made a will, then the Administrator General Department is not involved. That department only gets involved in estates when persons died what we call intestate, which means the person died without a will. If you die testate, that means you died with a will, then that department is not involved. So I beg of you, especially if you have young children, because as Mr. Shuck said, I think I've said it on this program the other day, that a young lady I know told me that she saw where the Administrator General's Department came to where she lived and put a notice on a tree to say they are administering her grandfather's estate. This young lady is in her 50s, and she told me that her grandfather died before she was born. So you can imagine, they are just reaching that estate. This young lady probably has grandchildren, and they are just reaching the estate. So you can imagine what is happening. You can imagine the status of other estates. If over 50 years have passed and they are just reaching that estate, do not leave your estate to chance. Do not leave your estate to the Administrator General's Department, because they are overworked. And from we can see what the lawyers are saying, we look like we need to add underpay with that too. So we are encouraging our listeners, please, do not leave your estate to chance. Make your will. Good day, Ms. Brown. My friend's lot number got mixed up. Example, his address is lot 44. The title says a different address. Example, lot 35. Can it be changed? I'm not sure it's a mix-up, you know. You need to double check and make sure it's a mix-up, because the street number, you know, and the lot number are usually not the same, and we don't carry street numbers. We don't carry address on titles. So for example, my lot number where I live is lot 92, but I'm 10X Drive. I'm not 92X Drive, I'm 10X Drive, but my lot number is 92. So make sure that there really is an error. Because your lot number is 44 North Street, that don't mean your address is going to be 44 North Street. Your address might just be 12 North Street, but you're lot 44. So double check it. Most times they are not the same. Good day, Ms. Brown. How long does letter of administration take? I find it taking more than a year or near a year. Before COVID, I would say the person 6 months, but it's taking a little long now. Okay, but sometimes we have to follow. Sometimes the courts are slow, but a lot of times us attorney is not following up fast enough to advertise or to give the requisition. So we also have that obligation as well. But I think a year is a good time to say it should take. Give or take. Good day, Ms. Brown. The law in this country needs to be changed. Imagine someone bought a piece of land, leave for the U.S. in order to build a house on the land, pays taxes from the U.S., going to find out when he returns that someone occupied his land. Claiming he occupied the land for a period undisturbed. He did not buy the land. What kind of foolful law is this? These laws need to be changed. But if the person said that they have occupied it for more than 12 years, is that so? Can you prove it? Because paying the tax is not going to help you. It's not who pay the taxes who live on it. Has this person really been on it for 12 years? Have you really gone to America and left it for 12 years? Were you building on it during that time? Because you can show that you come and visit your property and you started building on it. They can't claim the adverse, you know. They have to show that they have been there, sole, open, quiet, undisputed, undisturbed. If you can show that you have somebody overseeing it, you come and check it one now and then and so on, then you can defeat their claim. But I noticed that everybody knocking the adverse this week, and I'm glad to hear that. Ms. Brown, good afternoon. My girlfriend finished paying for her land, but she's having problems getting the title. I wonder who has the title. Sometimes the banks lose the title. Sometimes NHD takes 3-4 months to give it to you. You have to tell me who has it. Because sometimes it takes a little while. I find it takes an average of about 3 months to get it from the institution, having paid. They tell you they have to send it to their accounting department to sort it and so on and so on. So sometimes it takes a little while. But you need to follow. Because as I said, you haven't told me when you finish paying. Yes, so I'm glad for the feedback this afternoon. Knock it. I don't have a problem. When you buy a lot of land, what's the typical turnaround time to get your title? assuming there's no restriction on the title. If you are not taking a mortgage, I say to the client 60 days to 90 days, 60 days. If you're going to borrow money, I will get a mortgage 120 days. But sometimes that is out of the loop. So, for example, I have a situation that the person is buying it at cash sale. I send the documents to the stamp office. They say they have to go and look at the property to make sure that what the person buying it for is what it is really the value. And I'm going 3 months and I haven't got it back from the stamp office. You have some of these little things where sometimes it's so difficult to quote. Because I've found that there is a serious problem with the government department in the last, I would say, year or so, where you can't quote anything in terms of time. I have matters in the titles office that I've not heard anything from in 2 years, and it's not for want of trying. I send persons there partially every single day. So sometimes you quote and you get in trouble because Miss Go, you said it would take 120 days. That's what is in the agreement. But the stamp office seems to want to keep it for 120 days. Jamaica land we love. But all things being equal, if there's no problem, I would say if it's a cash sale, 60 days you should be able to complete. 90 the most. If it's a mortgage, 120 or near to that. But sometimes the mortgage process takes some, so you have to give extensions to the parties who are buying. It's difficult to tie yourself to time. Nowadays when persons ask the time, I can't give persons time. Because I hate when my clients say, Miss Bone, you said it was going to be ready. And but sometimes when I show them the number of letters I've written, and lawyers charge per letter, but in situations like this, you can't really charge per letter. I mean, per each letter that you have written, not per letter in each word. So it's a little bit challenging. Things are getting challenging, and I'm begging the government department, something has to give. Something has to give. It's just too difficult to do business in Jamaica. Just too difficult. If everything now is a problem. So you find that you waste so much of your productive time on the phone, checking on matters, telling your staff that should be in the office looking about persons, seem to be in after people on the road every single day, different from my regular bureau, just to go because, as we say in Jamaica, the baby who cries the most gets the most milk. So if you neglect your matters, if you don't go and check on your matters, you might find that you're at the bottom of the queue. So you have to keep checking on people, allowing and keep even holding your peace when young people who did not know that you were there long before them try to be rude to you or try to tell you rubbish. For example, I called the government department this morning to check on a matter, and what the young lady told me made no sense to me. But then she was just telling me what the others told her, and I had to say to her, they can tell you that, but you can't tell me that because that makes no sense whatever. Because that's a department that I worked at for years. So I know sometimes they just give you something to hold you. They don't care that you come from Westmoreland, they will tell you foolishness just for you to come from in front of them. Don't know that you have to go back so far from Kingston to Westmoreland. And a lot of things, that's one of the biggest problem I've seen is that first is the customer service. Okay, and the training is really lacking because a lot of the time the persons who are training the persons, they themselves don't have the knowledge. I remember when I worked at the titles office, you could not deal with a new title matter until you were an attorney there for 2 years. And we recognize why that is necessary, which is some of the challenges we're having. And I won't touch that really. But experience is something because see, in reality, there's a little thing we used to say, he who knows not and knows that he knows not. Sometimes, if you don't know that you don't know, then you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes, and some of these mistakes are extremely costly. So to say thanks, my listeners, this afternoon, I hope I've preached enough to you to make you want to call me tomorrow. Say, Miss Brown, I'm coming to make my will, or Miss Brown, I've made the will. Look at this for me now. And I want to thank you so much for continuing to support the program. And let us keep the adverse possession conversation going. I like the conversation. I understand what you're saying. Maybe we need to look at some little things, maybe we can't throw it out because sometimes it's very, very important. I think sometimes we want to look tunnel vision at the problems, but sometimes we don't recognize that it's a little deeper than that. And sometimes you yourself will need to use the adverse possession situation for the grandfather's land who never made a will, and you can't go deal with grandfather's estate because he had 10 children and 500 grandchildren, but you want to just deal with a little piece for yourself. You might have to use the adverse possession there because you can't afford to go and and probate the 10 children, will or administer the 10 children estate and find the 50 grandchildren your first cousin. So sometimes it's necessary. But I appreciate exactly what you're saying. That maybe there's some amount of restriction, but look about your property. Thanks so much to Dervan, thanks to Adrian, thanks to 4106 for accommodating us again. We look forward to sharing again with you. I'm Gloria Brown. Have a good day.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:30.
Need water for agricultural purposes? Apply to the National
Can you try
Irrigation Commission for your
connecting me
irrigation
on
services.
Teams,
Let's grow
please?
smart and eat smart with irrigated agriculture. Call National Irrigation Commission at 876-927-6727. Visit their website at www.nicjamaica.com or visit any of their office locations today. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
What do I need to do to become available? Come again? So try calling Power 106 studio. This is vibrating, which means somebody's trying to reach me, but I'm not seeing it come up. No, I'm seeing get everyone together by creating a community, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not seeing. It says available, and it selects both sides. I'm not seeing one. Let me see. I see calendar. Says no events. Okay. Hmm? On what platform? See? Okay. Mike. Check 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. Okay. You ringing this one? Underwear. Unless it's somebody, I don't know. I'm gonna keep this. Well, gone.
No, we'll switch to this. Switch to the cell phone.
Okay.
And the ringing stop, right?
Hmm.
The ringing stop.
Yes.
Probably told them they're going to be.
So you still hearing me?
They won't know that.
All right. Okay.